older case, the 5308 was the one set for trial this morning, and the other was trailing. Is that correct, Mr.
That's
Phelan?
my understanding.
Okay. Ms. Knowles?
Just to, I believe Mr. Zenner was in the room when the state recited about Mr. Banfield's matters. At this point, the state is moving to continue for good cause. A prosecutor was able to potentially try this case in a very short period of time, and we found out late Tuesday. So we are requesting this be a good cause continuance. Again, the same time constraints that we're looking at with Mr. Banfield's case.
All right, Mr. Phelan?
And Your Honor, there's case law to support a good cause continuance. And so I don't have any legal basis to object. I understand that Mr. Zaner would probably object on his own behalf, but I do not have any legal basis to object.
All right. Mr. Zaner, are you wanting to make an objection at this point?
I want to make an objection, probably. So I would like to have my trial quite a while back. I also I thought that Mr. Phelan was going to discuss.
We'll get to that in a second, Mr. Zaner. We got to take care of each thing in order so that we can create a clear
Okay,
record.
I don't know the orders and whatnot here, so I object. Sure, I would like to have my trial, like I said, quite a while back. I think it should have been quite a while back, and so I object.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Zenner. Based on all the circumstances in this case and the extreme nature of the issues that Mr. Lorraine is dealing with, I am going to make a finding for a good cause continuance. I will note.
Lorraine, is that the person who's sick?
I will note Mr. Zenner's objection for the record. And do we want to look at the same time?
There's been other prosecutors sick, and
Mr. Zenner, I'm talking now. I let you speak, so please don't speak over me. Ms. Knowles, the same time framework.
Let me just double check.
Does that work for you, Mr. Phelan?
It should be fine.
So, Mr. Zenner, I'm going to grant a short continuance in your matter. So we'll set readiness for March 14th, 2023 at 9 a.m. and trial for March 21st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Both matters will trail on that same time frame, and you're ordered to appear at those dates and times. And then, Mr. Phelan, was there another?
There are two more matters I'd like to take. Is that Mr. Zaner would like to have a new attorney. I believe he would tell the court that he does not have any faith or trust in me, believes that I'm actively working against him, that I've lied to him on multiple occasions about a variety of different things, and that he does not believe that I have his best interests at heart.
Mr. Zenner, any additional comments there?
he said it very well.
So you feel like you can't have a conversation with Mr.
No,
Phelan?
I cannot.
And you understand that if you request a new attorney, that's
Yes.
is a whole new 60-day time clock
I
for you to
believe
stay
that
on
it will,
track.
and I want a new attorney. I want a fair trial. I want a new attorney.
And what are you having issues with Mr. Phelan specifically?
Specifically, this last one here is that he did not confirm with me and my sister that he did give all the documentation that my sister had for the doctor. Mr. Phelan also failed to get the documentation of records from the hospital and other doctors. My sister got them, and then we have no confirmation that the doctor I saw did get this information. And I did a really bad, poor job speaking to the doctor, and hope that I could at least have some communication with him, partly because of that.
And Mr. Phelan, was this the Dr. Patterson?
Yes, he had asked me to explore a possible defense related to anemia, and that resulting in diminished capacity or a dreamlike state that would have provided an explanation for the actions that he's alleged to have undertaken. I did retain Dr. Patterson. I provided him with all the information I had, as well as the medical records that were provided by his sister Carla. I uploaded them to a protected Dropbox. I provided the link to the doctor. And I don't know, I can't hand him a delivery confirmation, but apparently my word is not enough. The doctor did evaluate Mr. Zanner and indicated that he did not believe that this was a legal or appropriate defense based on his review of the records. And I don't believe Mr. Zanner's happy about that, but I retained an expert and that's what they said, so.
So, Mr. Zenner, I guess, why is it that you think that he didn't do any of those things?
Because he's told me that he would look into getting doctor records, but he did not get them himself. He's been avoiding to get the doctor records to bring them up in trial. And also, let me see, when I get asked questions, I go blank a lot of times.
And I guess the only thing I would say is that I did not believe that there was a legal basis to pursue the defense. I did so in order to preserve the relationship I have with Mr. Zanner. I still don't believe that it was an appropriate defense, and the doctor agrees.
The other defense is there's a piece of paper and it says something specific that Mr. Phelan and I disagree about the meaning of this very specific thing that the paper says. It's about my rights, about being locked up by the hospital people. And there's also lied to me about their, or did not tell me accurately a few times about video. And there is no video, or there is video, I'm not sure. And then it needs to be investigated. There's a video, alleged or not alleged, whatever, to see why is it conveniently that 2 times they don't have video of the part where they say I assaulted someone. It disappears wherever the assault is what it appears to be to me. And that needs to be investigated. And this idea of video, Mr. Phelan has not spoken to me about it truthfully. He speaks out of the side of his mouth. It's like I'm going to a flea market and trying to buy something at a flea market. I grew up in a flea market. That's what he talks like. So I was flea market salesman.
Mr. Phelan, how do you feel about moving forward as counsel of record on this case?
I guess, I mean, I don't believe that he trusts me. I don't believe that there's any relationship there at all. But I guess the question that my supervisor would have me pose or bring up is that whether anyone could satisfy Mr. Zanner. And I do not believe that anyone would satisfy Mr. Zanner. I believe he had, so there is that, but I certainly don't believe that there's any sort of relationship. And I will do my best at a trial. I will provide him with a defense. The best defense is available under the law, and I believe that I can do that. But I don't believe that he trusts me, and I don't know that I can trust him to be honest or forthright with me. And I do believe he would probably do something like try to set me up to get me in trouble. So I don't have a lot of faith in Mr. Zanner's relationship.
I have never had trouble with a court-appointed attorney except for once before in the past, and it was a very small issue. And so this is the only, oh, wait, the last time was with Mr. Yes, this is the 3rd time then in my lifetime. And one was over a large issue before. So I think that I can be satisfied with somebody who helps me. I just need somebody who helps me. Mr. Morgan, it was that I had difficulty with. And been back a long time ago, there was some little thing that didn't matter. It much.
Is there a third layer to this, Mr. Phelan? A third request, I guess, before
There
I
is, it's
bond
going
in
to
a
be
second?
a request for bond, Your Honor, or a request for PR. I don't know that there's any change in circumstance, but I was going to let him, if he was going to get a new attorney, let his new attorney, I guess, deal with that issue. I brought up a bond motion previously, and it ended spectacularly in court when Mr. Zanner indicated that he would not be following any of the rules or requirements that the court imposed. So I don't have any basis to bring a new bond motion, but I believe he does want to bring it.
And this is another issue that Mr. Phelan failed me in. He told me that he thought I would be released. Release means I'm released. Here is a post bail. He didn't tell me that I was gonna go see somebody about posting bail. No, he said released. And so when I get there, all of a sudden there's this stuff going on where I have to post.
Okay. All right, Mr. Zenner. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I understand, frankly, the tenuous nature of some relationships that exist between counsel and client. I also am aware of the backlog. I'm aware of the lack of attorneys that are available to take over cases, and just how many cases everybody is holding. The concern I have, but for a few comments from Mr. Phelan, I would likely have asked him to forge ahead in this case. My concern is, I don't think counsel should knowingly put themselves in a position where they could be have ethical situations arise moving forward. I don't know if Mr. Marr has a backup plan for Mr. Zenner, but Mr. Zenner, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grant your request for new counsel. I'm going to set this to next Thursday. At this point, I'm going to keep those trial dates and have those be addressed by new counsel. I'm going to set this to Thursday, the 9th of March. And I guess, Mr. Phelan, would that be best to be set at 9 a.m. or 2 p.m.?
9 a.m. I imagine Mr. Marr will probably address the new attorney. So if we could just put it on 9 a.m. for him, and then it can be moved at that point.
So, Mr. Zenner, I'm going to set your matters to Thursday, the 9th of March at 9 a.m. for appointment of new counsel and for a bail review.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bye,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Phelan.